report that his skin was falling off. So how is that not serious?
This child was held and immersed into hot water. A 2-year-old. I don't know what in the world could justify a 2-year-old having, half of his body burned with skin coming off.
In 2019, CR 4747, State of Texas versus Zachary Prince. Could our parties approach and announce for the record for the state?
Michael Lilly out for the state.
For the defense? So you entered a plea bargain agreement on July 12th and applied for deferred adjudication. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishments be assessed at a cap of 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. The state opposes your application. There's an affirmative finding of family violence and there are no contact with Caden Haggis.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right. State, do you have any witnesses?
No witnesses, just argument, Judge.
Defense, any witnesses? And before I take your witness under oath, because it was not written on the docketing sheet, did your client enter a plea of no contest? All right. So that the record can be clear, the court did review the stipulations that were agreed to, and the court is finding there's sufficient evidence to find your client guilty. Of course, the court is deferring finding of guilt as he applied for deferred adjudication. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. I'm going to need you to speak up so that the court reporter can hear, and everyone else, you need to whisper. All right, state your name for the record.
Audrey Fuller.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Fuller, how are you related to Zachary Prince?
I'm his mother.
And you could face forward so that she can hear you better.
I'm his mother.
I heard we spoke before court this morning, correct?
Yes.
And you referred to Zachary by another name?
Devontae, that's his middle name.
Okay, so if you talk about a Devontae here, you mean Zach,
Yes.
Zach Prince. How are you employed, Ms. Fuller?
I'm a 100% disabled veteran. I don't work.
Okay, so you served in the military?
Yes.
And I think that's reflected in the pre-sentence report. During Zach's childhood and growing up, and I understand you did write some words that you'd like to address the court?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Dear Honor, my name is Audrey Fuller. I am Zachary Prince's mother. The charges against my son are very severe. I'm truly aware of this, as well as our entire family. We empathize deeply with the young victim injuries he received, but we believe fully that Zachary would never intentionally hurt any child ever. Although he had to plead, it was solely based off of his chance of proving his innocence, which have been extremely slim. I do believe that he is guilty of one thing, that is neglect. He never should have left the child in the bathroom alone. Zachary has felt extreme remorse for his actions ever since the incident. I'm here to plead to the court to grant mercy on my child during the sentencing phase. He is a great, loving, and protective parent of his 5 children who all need him in their lives. They all love their father very much. It would be hard on them to lose him at this point in their young lives. I am not asking for him to walk away scot-free, but for him not to receive prison time. Thank you, and I hope you strongly consider my plea.
Ms. Fuller, has Zachary always been financially responsible for the children that he has?
Yes.
Has he always kept a job?
Yes.
Is he currently working?
Yes.
That's what.
All right, state.
I have a couple questions for you. Have you seen any of the evidence in this case?
Physically, I haven't seen anything. I just know.
Okay. So is it fair to say you haven't reviewed any offense reports or
No.
police reports?
No.
You haven't reviewed any of the medical history?
No.
You haven't reviewed any of the photographs?
Yes.
So despite not reviewing any of that, you still believe that your son is innocent?
Yes.
Okay. Do you realize that in the stipulations that a medical professional, a doctor, said that the pattern of the burn in this case has clear lines of demarcation and no splashing, which means that it was an intentional immersion.
Judge,
you
I'll
understand
object to the form of the question.
All right, just for a moment. State, could you repeat your question,
Yes.
please?
So there's a medical report in there from a doctor who says that the clear lines of demarcation and the lack of evidence of splashing in this case shows that this appears to be a immersion, meaning putting somebody in water. Did you know that?
No.
Okay.
Just so you're saying that they're saying that he held him underwater?
That's what it clearly appears to be. Were you aware of that?
No.
Because according to your son's statement, he says that the child's in there and then the water's flowing over him, but there is no burns on this child's chest.
Judge, I would object. She's already said she doesn't have knowledge of that. She had not reviewed the reports or the evidence. It's just argumentative.
All right, that'll be overruled.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know. I don't know.
Does that change your mind about whether you know that he's innocent of this?
I still, yeah, it doesn't change my mind.
Okay. So regardless of what you hear, you know that your son's innocent.
Yes, because his way I know him, Zach Devontae, he's never hurt a child ever. I've never seen him hurt. We have 50 kids in our family, young kids, and he always takes care of these kids. He's never seen him. I've never ever seen him do anything out of line, touch them, hit them, yell at them, anything. And he's 30, and if we have them all ages, and he's never done this. So for him to do something like this, that's not a character. I can't believe that.
Okay. Were you aware that he's a suspect in another injury to a child case in Kilgore?
I'm aware of that. That's my grandson.
Okay.
And when my grandson got to my house, he had those marks on him before he even, whoever dropped, it was his mom didn't drop him off. Someone else dropped him off at my mother's house, and my mother noticed him, and my mother told me. And then my mom told him that he had marks on him. And they were the same marks that the doctor saw. So
Okay.
he had those injuries previously.
What about the head injuries in that case?
I don't know what head injury you're talking about.
Okay. So maybe we're just talking about a different case then.
There's just one case.
Okay. So you know his full criminal history?
He's one.
Okay. So are you aware that he has any other pending cases?
Not that maybe if you tell me what they are.
Well, I want to know what you have. What you know. Tell me what you know about the other pending cases.
I know that he had one where he was at a bar with his coworkers, and the coworker had a gun, and then the coworker was being disruptive with the person who was arrested because he was in a bar with a gun. And then when my son walked over there, him and another guy, and they asked what's going on. Then because the officer was in plain clothes. And then they saw that he had a gun. Then they backed off. They're like, oh, okay, he's a cop. And then they said they just want to know what was going on, and then they said that he had a gun.
Okay. So are you aware that he has a pending aggravated assault in Midland County?
No.
Okay. That's witness judge.
That the case that you just described about being in the bar, is that the pending case?
Yes.
And you mentioned that the state asked you whether you thought Zach was innocent, but in your statement you wrote that he was neglectful at a minimum.
Yes. For leaving the child in it because the child turned the water on.
That's a big difference from being innocent, being neglectful.
Yes, he's guilty. Yes, he's guilty of that.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
For the record.
Chelsea Nixon.
All right, defense.
Ms. Nixon, how are you related to Zach Prince, if at all?
Girlfriend of almost 2 years.
And do y'all live together?
Yes.
How long have y'all lived together?
About a year and a half.
Do you have any children with Mr. Prince?
No children with him.
Expecting?
Not that I'm aware of.
And do you have any children of your own?
Yes.
How old are they?
10 and 8.
And you're aware with what this case that Zachary has against him, correct?
Correct.
That involved a young child. Did you ever witness anything knowing that with Zachary being around your children that concerned you?
No, never.
How is he with your children?
He's very, very involved with them. He does their homework with them. If there's ever anything that I can't do with them, he does. If he's ever not working, he's home with them when I'm working. He's very involved, like actively with them. They both play sports, so he's very, very much involved with them.
So they're very close. Have you ever seen him discipline them in a way that made you uncomfortable?
No.
Have you ever seen him lose his temper with them?
No.
Have you ever been worried about leaving them in his care?
No.
Pass the witness.
Just a couple questions. Ms. Nixon, your kids reside with you
Yes.
full time?
Yes.
Okay. And does Zachary live with you full time?
Yes.
Okay. So he's around these kids pretty often?
Correct.
Are you aware of the allegations in this case?
I am now.
Okay. Does that give you any concern for having your kids around him?
No, no. I mean, from my personal experience with him and the way that my children care for him and how he's been a very good role model for them and been there for them, I don't question him around my kids.
And just to be specific, I'm asking about knowing the allegations in this case. You don't have any issue with your children being around Zachary Prince?
I do not.
That's witness.
No, fine.
How old are your children?
10 and 8.
All right, thank you. Thank you for coming in. Defense, call your next witness.
No other witnesses, Your Honor. Sir. No other witnesses, Your Honor.
Mr. Prince, is there anything you wish to say? You can raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give would be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand.
I just wanted to make a statement if that was okay.
Sure.
I just wanted to let the court know that I have like the utmost remorse about what happened. I mean, at the end of the day, I take full responsibility because I should have been an unselfish adult about it and been watching Kaden the whole time. And I understand the allegations against me, and whatever the court decides, I'm 100% with it. But I mean, if the probation is on the table, which I heard is slim, but if it is on the table, there won't be any problems out of me. And I think that'll be the best option for me, my children and my family, because I'm like a real staple and pillar within my family. That's all I got.
All right. So have you seen the photos in this case?
Yes, ma'am. I was there at the hospital when he was bandaged up and everything.
All right. So I'm looking at the photos, and there are extensive burns to his bottom.
Mhm.
And then there's extensive burns to his chest. I don't understand your story because it doesn't seem to be consistent with the photos and the information that the court has reviewed. And I will tell you, even though Judge Angelini is the judge that took this plea, I read over all of the PSI reports and I reread all the stipulations.
It happened how I said it happened.
All right. Any questions from the state?
I think the court inquired about what I was interested in knowing.
All right. Defense, any clarification needed from your point? Because what the court is reviewing and seeing is a 2-year-old who has no skin remaining on his bottom because of scalding hot water.
Yes, ma'am.
And it appears from the photo that I'm reviewing, his entire chest is covered and back with burns and removed because of scalding water. Yes.
That they took that off at the hospital. They took more than they were supposed to.
Got more of his skin off?
Yes, ma'am. When me and his mother went to the hospital, they told us, okay, this is only what we're taking off. And then they chose to take more of his skin off. I don't know why. When we got to the hospital, we both broke down about this whole situation. Seeing him cast up like we did, we didn't know what was going on. We thought it wasn't as severe as it was, but it was.
Well, explain to the court why you didn't call EMS immediately, because I read the PSI report and it states that you put lotion on his body as opposed to calling.
Aloe vera. I put aloe vera on it, not thinking it was severe, and I called.
Well, no, I'm reading in the PSI report, and you state in the PSI report that his skin was falling off. So how is that not serious?
And that's why when his mother came, I said, let's go to the hospital right now. And I just, at that time, if I could go back and change it, I would call EMS first, but I wanted to keep his mother in the know. I didn't want her to, she was real sensitive, and I didn't want her breaking down or doing something out of the ordinary. So I called her and convinced her to take him to the hospital. And he didn't want to take him to the hospital, but I said, the best thing to go to the hospital.
Well, then I have an issue with her parenting skills as well. So it appears that the baby is not placed with her. Am I correct?
I don't know where the baby
The child is with her, Judge. I don't know if that.
Well, thank you. If the defendant's testimony is correct, then Child Protective Services review your cases. All right, the court will hear argument. State.
Judge, I think it's pretty clear just from the photographs in this case, his inability to relay a true version of what happened on this case. You can see from the burns that this is not a child splashing around in the water with burns all over the body. There's clear deep lines of demarcation, which indicates from the professional standpoint, I believe, which is contained in the stipulations, that this child was held and immersed into hot water. A 2-year-old. I don't know what in the world could justify a 2-year-old having, half of his body burned with skin coming off. We have the witnesses for the defense that came in here are clearly, understandably biased. I understand mom wants to come in here and tell this court that he is just neglectful. No, and he pled to an intentional and knowing act, because that is what he did. This child has permanent scars on his body with no justification. I think the offer was generous in this case for 10 years. And so we're asking that you deny his application and that you sentence him to the full 10 years because he deserves every single day of that 10 years.
All right, defense.
Judge, I'm not an expert or physician, and that's I can't argue how it happened. I can tell you of my opinion is I can see that it could have entirely happened the way Mr. Prince says it happened. The child turned the faucet to hot when he was left in there alone, which was the neglectful act. And the water splashes on his chest, it turns, it hits his back, and he falls, goes down, and is on the butt. I can see how those isolated, and I don't know why you're making those faces to me, Judge. You can.
I'm not making. First of all, stop. One, I'm not making any faces. Number two, I'm looking at you and listening to your argument, counsel.
I noted facial expressions, Judge.
Well, your notation is incorrect. You may continue with your argument.
If it was an immersion, in my opinion, but again, I'm not a physician nor an expert, but I just can't see on these facts how anyone who's not a physician or an expert can just say with 100% certainty it couldn't have happened that way. I can't accept that. If it were immersion, I would expect that it would be all the way burned around, not just in patches. How could it immerse it just in portions, in just the chest, in just the butt? That doesn't make sense to me, but I'm not a physician or a doctor. I'm just saying I can't see how any of us who aren't physicians or experts could know for certain.
State.
Well, I'm not finished, Judge. Mr. Prince is from a good family, as you've noted, had a good upbringing, did everything that we would expect from someone going to school, graduating, working hard, good role model for his brother, taking care of his kids. He's taken responsibility for this act for what he did do. And I guess we could sit here all day and argue what that was. But he's got no felony priors. Sending him to prison for this when it's questionable to me is severe. I know that the injuries to the child is severe and it's a tough type of case. But sending him to prison, I don't think resolves anything. He needs to be out here taking care of his kids financially and otherwise. And so I hope you will consider the deferred with conditions, with ISF, with other things that could address maybe a punishment aspect. And that's all I have.
State.
Just briefly, Judge, I know Mr. McCrum's not an expert. I'm not an expert. The court is not an expert, but there is an expert opinion contained within the stipulations. And that's what the state is relying on, because this 2-year-old can't tell anybody what happened to them. We have to rely on the experts in this case, which is clear, which is contained in the stipulations that this was an immersion case. And so, again, we're asking that you deny his application and sentence him to the full 10 years.
All right. Anything else, counsel? All right. After reviewing the stipulation and reviewing all of the evidence, and Mr. Prince, the court has listened to the witness's testimony. And I always appreciate when witnesses come in because they give me a more global view of a person that's standing before me than just what's in the PSI report. All right, the court is going to deny your application, find you guilty. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Caden Pegas. There's a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. Give you credit for any time served, and the court will sentence you to 10 years in the prison. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Have you reviewed that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, and also because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you, Mr. Prince.
Judge, this is a case where there's victim impact on Zoom. I believe
Okay.
that they're in.
There's no one in Zoom.
There isn't.